Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus celebrated its 80th birthday in 2008. It's known today for being one of the greenest transit systems in the world. The Big Blue Bus continues to be a cornerstone of the Sustainable City Plan, and its fearless leader, Edward King, is today's guest. Welcome, Ed.
Thanks, Rochelle. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to first ask you, so what's the difference between riding the bus today and riding the bus 20 years ago? What's better? What would you tell worried riders?
Well, first, I wouldn't have a rider worry. I think if you look at our system, we're one of the safest and most secure systems, not only here in Los Angeles in the region, but in the whole country. So when you look at our safety record, we have a very low preventable accident rate and an accident rate. So I would encourage people to try riding our bus. I think the biggest or the most significant change in our system over the last 20 years is the technology that we have deployed on our system. We have AVL GPS on all of our buses, digital radios, and not only does that make our vehicles more safe and secure, but it also is a benefit to our customers and our employees, who are bus operators who operate the bus. We also have technology that provides better service for our senior population and others that where they have a tough time seeing a bus coming down the street. All of our signage now is LED on the vehicles, so the head sign and destination sign are more technology advanced, and we also have cameras on all of our buses, so that helps us not only with safety and security, but I think it makes our riders feel more secure when they're on our system.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just reading something today about how important we know how important they were for the marathon, but cameras on the buses is really important for safety, and I think it does help kids and seniors and whoever is on the bus. I wanted to ask you, what happens if I want to go somewhere and you don't have a route that's available?
Well, there are two things really. First, I would encourage someone that wants to plan a trip to go to our website, bigbluebus.com. Secondly, we have a really good customer service staff, and we have a customer service number that you can get through our website and talk to one of our customer service assistants. If you cannot get the information that you're looking for on our website, a customer service assistant would help you. There are other service providers in our area, so they can assist you if a BBB route doesn't come near your residence or where you work or where you go to school or where you shop. They can guide you to the proper website for our regional partners, whether that's Metro or Culver City or UCLA. Or they can give you direct assistance with a schedule and provide that information where the bus stop would be and what system you'd want to take.
And then also Dial-A-Ride, right?
Well, yes, of course. We have a Dial-A-Ride service for our aging population, and that is very simple. You have to be a resident of Santa Monica over the age of 60, and that's phenomenal service because even though it's shared ride service, it's curb to curb. So that vehicle, which we contract out with MV Transportation for that service for, they will come right to the front of your home or your complex, pick you up and take you to your destination. It's a very simple process. You fill out an application, you send it in to Wise Transportation. They will certify it, and as soon as you're certified, you can begin taking that service. You can make reservations from 1 through 6 days in advance, and we encourage people to make them as far in advance as possible because there isn't any priority for trip purpose. So if you have a medical appointment or an appointment that you would like to make and you know when that appointment is, we encourage you to make that 6 days out because the service is very popular. The other thing is the city was successful in obtaining a federal New Freedom grant, which will allow us to provide more service on the Dial-A-Ride system. Right now we have service on Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., on Saturday from 8:30 until 3:30 p.m., and on Sunday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. with this new grant, which is over $450,000, we'll be able to provide more vehicles and provide more service and more frequency for that service, because it's become more popular as we see more of the population in Santa Monica aging. Obviously, it's a great service and they use it. But going back to the fixed route service, 8% of our customers are seniors, and that's an important market for us. So 22 million customers a year ride our system throughout Santa Monica and greater West Los Angeles. 1.8 million of those customers are seniors, and they use the service, and it's popular. So there's ways that I think we can do a better job of providing that service and reaching out to that market, and it's an important market for us, and we know in the future we're going to have to do that to be successful.
Yes, and I'm sure you're already working on that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But tell me about the upgrade and the bus stop. So you're making those so comfortable, maybe just people want to go sit at the bus stop. They're not going to get on the bus. They're going to be so great.
Well, there's our bus stop redevelopment project, which is almost a $7 million infrastructure project that is being led by the Public Works Department. That is going to City Council. The first meeting in June for approval. And what our customers will see are much better amenities at all of our stops. So there will be shelters, there will be more benches, so it's more comfortable for people. They can actually sit at a bus stop instead of waiting for a bus, standing to wait for a bus. And the other nice thing is many of the stops will have LED signs that will provide the next bus information for them. So they will be able to get real-time schedule information when they get to their bus stop through this signage.
Oh, so that means like if you're at the bus stop and you want to transfer or you want to go to somewhere, if it's changed, it'll be right there.
Absolutely.
So they won't have to worry about pulling out their program and reading the schedule, et cetera, which is one thing that keeps people from using the bus because it's so complicated.
Sure, and the other piece of that is we want to be more sustainable along with all the other city programs. So we're trying to produce less paper and provide more technology for our customers to use at the stops or to use our service. And as you've mentioned, one of the biggest questions and challenges that we receive from our customers is, I have to transfer and it makes it challenging, so I want to know when that next bus is going to arrive. When I get off my bus, I want to know within the next 5 or 10 minutes when my connecting bus will be there so I can make a convenient transfer and make sure that I complete my trip on time, whether it's to school or for work or shopping or to an appointment. So it's really more about the convenience and meeting the needs of our customers, and that's been the emphasis behind all the technology upgrades that we've made with the system over the last 20 years.
Well, that's great. People can plan and they can be assured that they're going to be able to see the bus that they need coming next at the time that they're supposed to be getting on it.
Right.
You said you serve 22 million riders every year?
Yeah.
And how many buses do you do that with?
So in round numbers, we have 200 buses in our fleet. They are all alternative fuel buses. So again, meeting the challenges of sustainability and being kind to the environment. Most of our vehicles are either compressed natural gas or liquefied natural gas propelled. We do have a small number of biodiesel vehicles still in the fleet, and those are slowly being eliminated and will be replaced over the next 6 months. So by the end of this calendar year, we'll have a 100% CNG and LNG fueled fleet, which is unique in this service area. We also have a small number of the mini blue buses, the small 30-foot buses that serve some of the neighborhoods that are hybrid electric. So they are gasoline and electric propelled, just like a Prius or some of the automobiles you see on the street. We actually have 30-foot buses running around town that are the same type of technology.
That's fabulous. Are they quiet too?
Well, those vehicles are very quiet, and compared to vehicles 20 or 15 years ago even, in some of the old diesel clunker buses that we used to operate along the streets in Santa Monica and on the west side, the CNG and LNG vehicles are much quieter.
Well, that's great. So I wanted to find out too, I know that you do extensive training with your staff. You have a fabulous staff, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what that training, what's the curriculum about? I mean, they get everything, right?
Sure, absolutely. So a new bus operator starts with us, and he or she will go through a very intensive 6-week training program. It starts with the basics on how to operate a 40-foot or a 60-foot bus, or a 30-foot bus in the case of our smaller equipment. And then they will learn all of our bus routes. And then they learn a lot about customer relations, because that's a big part of their jobs. Not only do they have to operate a $500,000 or $800,000 piece of equipment, their job is our customer service agent and customer service representative out on the street. So a big portion of the training is about interfacing with our customers, the challenges that they will see while they're out on the street, and the other is dealing with our specialized customers, those with disabilities, ADA customers, who may have a mobility device, and how to best address those, and then our aging population, and what we can do to facilitate and help make sure that they have a more comfortable ride while they're using our system, because we want those people to come back and use our system again.
And I'm sure the operators appreciate it.
They do. They absolutely do. Then after the first 6 weeks, we let them go out and drive a vehicle, and we bring them back in 6 months, give them a refresher training, an 8-hour refresher, and then on their 1-year anniversary, they come back and have some additional training. All of our employees, all of our operating employees are required to do state mandated training once a year. It's a refresher on different things, updates to our system, new service that we may be operating during the next year or the next cycle of service changes, new state laws or new mandates, federal regulations that come down. So, you know, there's a myriad of things that they're exposed to. And, you know, part of that training, you were very helpful in facilitating for us. We're now doing a segment really focused on how to deal with our aging customers and the boomers that are going to be riding our system a lot more. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but it's an important part of their jobs and learning how to deal with customers that have different needs.
And just being aware of the different needs is going to be the number one. Mm-hmm. So, how many staff do you have? I didn't ask. I'm just curious.
So total department, there are 470 BBB employees, and the propensity of those are our operations employees. There are 300, just under 300 bus operators, and approximately 24 support staff, from operations supervisors to clerical and administrative support, that oversee the operations section at BBB.
Well, you have a great staff, and they're doing a wonderful job. We're going to go to a break, and we'll talk more about the senior population.
Great.
So whether you're riding the bus for fun, for sightseeing, or just getting around, Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus is fast becoming the smartest, most cost-efficient way to get around town and other places. In addition, it's hands-free. Find out more when we return on Let's Talk.
It is estimated that over 5 million elderly Americans are abused each year. They could be your neighbor, your friend, or your relative. In most cases, the abuse is unreported. Every day, seniors become the victim of neglect, physical, emotional, and financial abuse. Help us stop the abuse by giving us a call. Help is free, and you'll remain anonymous. Elder abuse is a crime. We're Adult Protective Services, and we're here to help.
Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus works with numerous other transit authorities to provide its residents with the best possible route and transfer options a bus agency can offer. Ed King, Director of Transit Services at the City of Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus, is our guest today on Let's Talk. So Ed, I forgot to ask you earlier, tell me the perks for if you're a resident or a student, or are there perks for seniors too? Tell us the perks about riding the Big Blue Bus here.
Sure, let me start with students, because that's probably the biggest perk, and it's because of our collaborative relationship with SMC. We've had a relationship since 2008 that provides free transportation service for students, faculty, and staff to SMC on any line, anytime. All you have to do is show your ID, and you ride for free. So it's a great deal. It's been a great relationship, and it's reduced the amount of traffic that we've seen in the community. It's reduced congestion and it's helped parking on campus and around town, because we all know how challenging that is here in Santa Monica. It's always one of the top 2 or 3 issues for our residents and visitors is congestion and parking. So this has been a phenomenal relationship, and this year ridership for SMC students is up 10% on our system, and we're on track to carry 2.8 to 2.9 million students this year on BBB service. So it's been a very successful program, and one that's been a collaborative and wonderful relationship with the campus and the administration at SMC, and we thank them for that, because we couldn't do it without their assistance. For our residents, I think the other big perk is for our seniors, and really for all of our residents, because with the leadership of our city council and city manager, we have kept our fares very, very low. And we are probably one of the lowest fares here in Los Angeles County. So for $1, you can get on a bus and ride anywhere within our system, which is a great deal these days. You can buy a day pass for $4 and ride all day long if you'd like, but for $1, you can't beat that. And for our seniors, those who are 62 years or older, it's 50 cents. It's half price, or $1.50 for a day pass. And I think that's a great value, especially in these days and times that, when gasoline is close to $4 a gallon. I think it's a value to our residents and the customers that we transport every day on our system.
And you historically have not raised fares in, what, 20 some odd years?
That's a great point, Rochelle. We've not raised this last fare increase, which went in 2010. It went from 75 cents to $1. But prior to that, we hadn't had a fare increase in 27 years. So I think that's really saying something to not only how we operate our system, but also the leadership that's provided by the city council wanting to keep our fares low for our residents and the customers that use our service.
Absolutely. And with the growing aging population, keeping the fares reasonable is going to be important, because with the aging population, how are you going to meet the mobility needs? Because they are going to be working longer, going to need those transportation options. So tell me, what steps are you doing at the Big Blue Bus to prepare for that?
Sure, we know aging in place is instrumental to the aging population, and so number one, I think we're doing a good job of meeting the needs currently. We need to do a better job of looking at the demographics and the markets. So when you look at the aging population, people are working longer. People are going to need to be able to commute to their jobs using public transportation, whether it's us or Metro or Expo, the new rail line that's coming into town here soon. So we want to be able to complement not just the other bus systems, but the light rail system that will be coming into Santa Monica for folks that are aging and are going to continue to work when they're in their 60s and even in their 70s, because we see a propensity for people that are going to continue to work and be engaged. Also, those